Hey guys, Chris here. We got another special meeting tonight. We're going to be talking about another upcoming Comic-Con coming to North Carolina. Now, we have a special guest tonight. Our friend Alan Gill is joining us. He is kind of the head guy for, do we call it NC Comic-Con or North Carolina Comic-Con?
NC Comic Con. Yeah.
NC Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Awesome. So yeah, so we're going to be talking about that. I think Alan, this is what, year 10 of NC Comic-Con?
Yep. Year 10.
Year 10, and it is in Durham, North Carolina, and it's going to be from November 4th through November 5th. So you got 2 days to come check it out. And looking at the list of the guests today, I would say if you could come both days, it would be really great because I got a lot of great guests there, and you may not be able to see them all in one day. So, Alan, you want to tell us a little bit about, just tell us a little bit about the convention. I guess that would be the best thing to do.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. Um, for folks who don't know, I also own Ultimate Comics and a couple stores in Raleigh, Durham, Cary, and Fayetteville, and started those about 20 years ago. We just celebrated our 20th year for Ultimate. And when we started the convention, 10, I mean, I guess it was over 10 years. This is our 10th anniversary show. Obviously, COVID is, I mean, it's been 4 years since we've done this convention. So it's been 14 years since we started the con. Um, and we started it, I mean, at the time, 10 years working in the comic book store, we were broke like most comic book guys, right? Um, but we still wanted to start the con. So we started it off at the Morrisville Outlet Mall, which doesn't really exist anymore. Um, but it was a barren mall. So that there's just, I mean, they had a food court, maybe like 5 or 6 stores in there, and everything else was empty. So they let us run our convention in there, and we were able to do that very cheaply. Basically, we ran it in the empty stores. So the vendor room might be the shoe store that used to be there, and then the artist alley was a clothing store, and I don't know. It worked very well. We did 3 shows there, and I would have kept it there. I think it was a great location. Not only was it cheap, and so if it's cheap for me, that means it's cheap for everyone else. Because if it then you could charge like 5, 10 bucks to walk in the door for the weekend, um, and you can charge less for vendor booths. Um, but that mall was not going to last any longer. So I had to find a new home for it, and Durham was it. I found the Durham Convention Center, which is a small convention center. It's really some big hotel ballrooms. Um, but the cool thing about the way it's set up, if you've never been, is that we utilize the Armory across the street, which is a City of Durham building, and that's where we do our ticketing. And this year, where we do all of the big panels, um, and we utilize the Carolina Theater. So we got 3 buildings. We shut down the road, which is, man, whenever the weather is nice, it's a super cool setup, because you can hang out outside. It's beautiful. Um, and it allows you some time to interact with people as you're going to the different buildings. And especially good for cosplayers because cosplayers love it. After doing all of these cons during the summer with 95-degree heat, and a lot of these conventions, man, I don't see how they do it. I mean, we set up at GalaxyCon to advertise the stores, our show, and then we also set up a booth there to sell stuff. And I mean, we saw a lot of people that weekend, but my God, it was hot. It was
Yeah,
miserable. I wasn't
it
in a
was.
costume. I wasn't in a costume. I was in my shorts and t-shirt, and I was like, oh my gosh, what a horrible time if you're in costume. So having a convention in November is great for cosplay.
Yes,
Yeah,
awesome.
I do a Silent Bob cosplay, so I appreciate the cooler weather as I'm wearing 3 layers when I do it. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I like. I mean, obviously, over the past 14 years, a lot more competition when it comes to conventions. So I think us keeping our November date is real important, because there is no real competition. Um, GalaxyCon is in the summer, Heroes Con is in the summer, and so yeah, it kind of positions us in a real good spot, I think.
I like it because it gives us somewhere to be in November. This
Right.
one, this
Mhm.
NC Comic Con will be there that weekend. Then we have another one the next weekend, and then we're done
Mhm.
for the year. So
Right.
there's
Yeah.
not much going on in December.
It's most people's, when we talk to guests, it's their last con of the year. It's like, man, I'll come out for NC Comic Con. You guys are just far enough away from the Thanksgiving that I can pop in and do one more convention, and that's the big thing for us because obviously, New York Comic Con was what, like 2-3 weeks ago, and you're trying to, if you're trying to get any comic book talent, that's kind of what you're competing against. New York Comic Con, and you're competing against the holidays. So right where we are, it still allows us to get the guests that we're able to get.
Awesome. And,
Right.
and speaking of the guests, let's talk about who the comic talent is you have here this weekend.
Sure. And that's another thing, just in general. NC Comic Con, especially Bull City, because we have run a Raleigh show too, and we called that Oak City. We have not brought that back yet, and that is a very different show. Bull City, the downtown Durham show, is a comic focused show. If we have someone like who's kind of out of comics, they're not a comic book traditional comic book creator, then um they are doing a comic. We had I think our first big kind of media guest was John Barrowman, who at the time was writing a Torchwood comic and a Torchwood book. So that kind of fell within the kind of purview of what we were trying to do with NC Comic Con, keep it comic focused. Same with Gerard Way. When we bring Gerard Way out, it's because he is either writing Umbrella Academy, or he started his Young Animal line.
Yeah.
We've got a skateboarder coming out this year, and the only reason he's coming out is that he is doing a comic with autobiography comic with Brockton McKinney writing and Holy Mountain printing. So it's got to kind of fit in with that. So
Awesome.
Right.
Awesome. So I have it up here on my phone. You can't really
Mhm.
see it, but we've got Arthur Adams coming. We've got Mike Valley, the skateboarder you were referring
Mhm.
to. Alyssa Wong.
Woohoo! I'm
This is
excited to meet Alyssa.
Is it Afua Richardson?
Afua Richardson. Yep.
Awesome. I said it right. Good.
Yep.
Alex Maleev.
Yeah, he actually had to cancel. We just put that up. If he's still on the website, that's
It's
not
showing
right.
canceled now on there.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah.
Tommy Lee Edwards.
Mhm.
E.M. Geist. I'm excited for because he did Power Rangers Ninja Turtles.
Oh, his artwork is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Our buddy
Josh, I think he did a cover for Star Wars too. I think it's
Yeah.
Ian Geist.
Yeah.
I have that book. I'm going to bring it and hopefully get it signed. So,
Our buddy Rob Potsy Potcheck.
yep.
Chris Wharton. Michael Morton. Jason Strutz. George Hogg. Radio Chris.
Hey.
Haig.
Yeah.
Haig. Murr Lafferty. Christos Gage. Keith Knight. And Timmy, is it Timmy Haig as well?
Yep, he's a panelist. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. So we got a full list of creators.
And actually, like I know we have it on like a separate drop down menu, but this year there is a local manga company that is called Saturday AM,
Yes.
and I met the publisher. We invited him out for free comic book day when we found out that they were local, and he brought some of his creators out, and so I tried his books out, and I was real impressed. They publish, or so they're published here stateside. Their creators are mostly African American, and they're really pushing for diversity here. So stateside creators trying to make that lineup as diverse as possible to give those folks a voice. And we started carrying that stuff in the store, and really took off, really surprised me too. And he's got a great reach. And so that's a component I don't know a lot about, though. When you say manga, I'm old school comic book guy. I'll talk your ear off if we're talking about John Byrne's Alpha Flight, but I do not know manga. And so bringing him in, it's almost like a con within a con. And the reason I thought that was a good fit is because if I was bringing my son to this convention, I'm here for Arthur Adams, but my kid, my 11-year-old, he's like, man, I'm into manga, and that's perfect, because he will be able to meet these folks. These guys are going to do how-to panels. They've got they actually have at least 6 panels throughout the weekend that are manga focused. They're doing an art contest, tons of stuff. So it really is almost like a manga convention within NC Comic Con.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, because there is a divide. There are two different factions of people. There's the comic readers and the anime manga people. So it's cool to have both of them there, to have that access.
Oh yeah, there's just so much crossover, and I think I mean a lot of those the manga anime styles are now being able to license out and use the more traditional characters. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the new Superman cartoon show, but
Yes,
it's
it's amazing.
It is amazing, and it is an anime. It is anime based through and through. And me being an old school Superman guy, when I first heard about it, I'm like, I'm gonna hate it. Well, I didn't. It was great. It had everything that you want to see in Superman, right? I mean, the character, and that's all I care about. I care about character. Is that character faithful to Superman? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it is. I've only watched a couple of episodes, but yeah, it's been really good so far.
Josh, the slacker Superman fan. I'm the Batman fan, and I've watched all of them. So.
My Max subscription is messed up right now. I'm trying to get them to fix it because all I get is sound with a black screen.
Oh, that's good.
So that's why I can't finish watching it right now. So yeah, big fan.
So speaking of cosplay, Josh will tell you, because we do a lot of pictures and stuff when we go to we create a cosplay video after the convention, and we were talking about anime. I would say the vast majority of I would say like 70% of the pictures we take are anime characters, because they love doing the anime. Now, I know at this con we've got a ton of featured cosplay guests too as well. So we really love seeing those as well.
Oh yeah, that was this year I've got a kind of a showrunner in training. Her name is Brittany McNeil, and it was her idea and responsibility to bring in a couple of cosplay guys. I think we've got like 10 total that we can that are working and representing the con, that we can kind of utilize throughout the show. And I think that that'll be real cool for people.
Yeah, and I recognize some of them are new to us, some new faces, but I recognize some of the names. I see Moody Vision here. We know Moody, hung out with Moody. I see Little Moon. We know Little Moon. Rocky Melvin. We know him as well. So we're excited to see some of those guys while we're there.
Oh yeah. We've had Rocky out to the store a couple times. He's great.
Yeah. And he does a great job. I mean, just back the other weekend, we saw the Hudson from Gargoyles he did and his Voltron, and those were amazing cosplays.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm sure, especially we're talking about conventions and the weather. I'm sure Rocky is going to appreciate the November weather, because every time I see that guy, he is very sweaty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he probably appreciates the November con as well.
So sweaty. I can only imagine, like, he was out for Free Comic Book Day in that Transformer thing. I was like, man, I don't get it. I don't know how you do it. I don't know why you do it, because it looks miserable.
Yeah. It's one of those things when you see him in it though, and you see everyone just following him around the cons. He's like the Pied Piper.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah, he's great. He's great.
We've talked about the cosplay guests. We've talked about the comic guests, the anime manga guest. We've got 3 comic publishers that are going to be there, Alan. Would that be correct?
I don't know. I'm checking the list.
Got the list in front of them. I've got it up on my phone. It looks like from the website, we've got Keen Spot, which I'm a fan of Keen Spot. Enjoying Kid Slapshot by Troy. And Potsy's got a really cool one coming out. I can't wait to read. We've got Bad Idea comic publishers and Iconic Comics. And Iconic really does look like anime manga when I look at their images.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's actually a group of artists, including Eric Canetti, and I love his artwork. That is kind of coming out as a group. I'm not sure if they've got a particular book or books that they're publishing on their own. We've had Eric Canetti out as a guest before, and he was really excited about coming out. So him and his buddies just got a table to come out.
Awesome. And we've read Keen Spot. I've not read Bad Idea or Iconic, so I'm excited to see some different indie publishers to read from.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with Bad Idea, but those are the guys who used to run Valiant.
Okay. Awesome.
The publisher is Dinesh, and he was the one who relaunched Valiant in I don't know, early 2000s with Exo Manowar. He started that, and then once they were making that Bloodshot movie with Vin Diesel, they kind of, I guess, I don't know how Hollywood contracts work, but he got kind of pushed out. They exercised an option, and so he's just like, well, I can't work in comics. So he decided to make his own company, and that's what Bad Idea is. And man, yeah, go online, take a look at some of this stuff. The production value on the books is incredible. When you pick up a Bad Idea book, the paper is like the cardstock covers, beautiful paper, and like they hire like old school style artists, people who do the time, they put in the background, and they highly detailed artwork. So nice. Anyway, a lot of cool stuff.
So we go from what sounds like bad idea is actually a good idea. I think my smoke alarm is going off in the background. Sorry about that, guys. Let me hit this button real quick.
So not only do we have the comic publishers, I know, Alan, that you guys have got stuff going on at the Carolina Theater. Going to be showing some movies all weekend that you can go see as well. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yep. So there are 4 movies playing this weekend. Basically, if you have an NC Comic Con badge or pass, you get those movie tickets for half price. I think they're normally like $12 or whatever, but you get them for $6. Cool thing about the Carolina Theater too is that is a not-for-profit, so you are helping keeping the theater in existence when you purchase those tickets. But they're playing the Michael Keaton Batman movie.
Awesome.
They obviously, with our dates being November 4th and 5th, they decided to play V for Vendetta.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
It is a good one.
Yeah.
He's playing The Incredibles for the kids, and then he's got one showing of the movie that I made with Brockton McKinney, which premiered at the Carolina Theater a week or 2 ago, to a packed house, Repchild.
We're
That's
excited
awesome.
to see that one. We got to go see it who plays it. So
he's only showing it once. It's at like 4:30. But if you can make it over there, I would love to hear an honest critique. Honest.
Yes.
So we could, what we may do is what we do with other movies. We'll go see it, and then we'll do an immediate out of the theater review of the movie when we come out from it.
Yes.
I want to see it. I want to see that. I want to see that review. I will say we opened it. You know, it was a stacked audience. You know, obviously we did our showing at the Carolina Theater, part of their Splatterflix film festival, and 400 people showed up, so it was packed. But you know, 100 of those people are our people. You know, it's the cast, crew, and then all the employees from Ultimate Comics. So, you know, I need real people who don't love me to see it. I need to sit in that audience and listen and say, oh, they thought that was funny, or oh, they didn't like that. I'm real interested in seeing what regular folks think.
You're the boss. Of course they're going to tell you they love it.
I know that's why I need people who don't work for me to see this thing. So anyway.
Okay. I will say I'm kind of partial to Sienna. I really like her, so that may skew my judgment on the movie.
Oh, I'm going to tell you, man, Sienna is exceptional. I am afraid that Hollywood is going to see Sienna and steal them from me. And I mean, that could definitely happen. That could definitely happen. They are that good. And I'll tell you a little secret. Most people don't realize this because it's not something you do when you make a movie. But since it was kind of like our first movie, we filmed it sequentially, which is asinine. It's stupid, but that's the way we did it. So, but I will say the one thing that I think is interesting about that is because, you know, we did have some people that I would say, man, those people are actors, and people like Sienna and a bunch of other folks, including my wife, are not actors, but you kind of grow with them in this movie. So the acting throughout the movie gets progressively better. I don't know if that's a good thing, a bad thing, but to me, it's an interesting thing.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the idea. Can't wait to see it either. All right. So we've talked guest, we've talked artist, we've talked cosplay. You were pulling up a vendors list for us. We need to highlight those guys that are going to be.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love my vendors. That is, I mean, there's so much that goes into running a convention, and so many decisions that are hard. It's just hard. And sometimes you got to make the tough calls. This year, was one of those years. We have traditionally set up a vendor room with 8x8 booths, and then kind of just tables all over the place, like 8-foot, 6-foot tables, and smashing in a bunch of people. One, logistically, that is hard for us at Move-In. It's hard for us to track. And, you know, we're a mid-sized convention, you know. So I care what my vendors and my artists make at my show. If they don't make money, I have failed. Yeah. And a lot of showrunners do not think that way, you know, because I'm a store. I set up at some of those shows. I am actively looking at a way for the people who show up, these guys who travel, you know, across the country to come to this show and support it, make money. So I eliminated the table option. There are no tables. It doesn't matter if you're an artist, a guy who normally sets up an artist alley, or you're a handcrafter and you make your decoupage things, or you're a comic vendor. We only have booths. So that cut down pretty substantially the total number of folks that are of vendors who are setting up at the con. Some people didn't like that, but you know, I had to do what I had to do here for the greater good. And so right now, this list, I mean, there's a good list. Obviously, we've got some of the other conventions who are coming out just to kind of you know, show the community and kind of advertise that we can all kind of get along. I think we can. Animazement's coming out. They run an anime convention. You know, there is a place called A Game Merch that's out here. Amazing Heroes is out here. Animazed, which is a store in Raleigh, an anime store, has got a big presence here. Black Dog Collectibles, Bonafide Comics, Boom Pop Comics, Cantina Comics, Capital Comics from Raleigh is going to be out here. Kaplan Collectibles, Comics, Cards, and Collectibles from Maryland. That's Mark Nathan. He runs a show called the Baltimore Comic Con. He's coming down. Baltimore Comic Con is one of my favorite shows. It is a great one. Carolina Fear Fest, which is a horror convention, is going to have a table. Corridor 6 Comic, Dream Days, they're up in Wilson. Dream Days Comics.
That's a pretty cool store.
Yeah, it is. It's been forever since I've been up there. Keith over at Fayetteville Comic Con will be out here.
Awesome.
As well as Galaxy Con's going to be out here. Gallery 71, Gamers Alley, Ginger Kid Collectibles, Groundbreaking Comics, Holy Mountain, which is publishing the skateboarding comic. Jason Hamlin, he's a great dealer with a bunch of cool kind of indie stuff a lot of times. Laughing Ogre. Man, I mean, there's a big list. Sailfish Comics is coming down from Greensboro, or Greensboro and Winston-Salem. The Comic Book Presser, that's Chris. He presses comics, and he'll be the CGC kind of facilitator. Triangle Cards, Ultimate Comics. Those guys are going to be here.
Of course they're going to be.
Yeah, I heard they've got like 4 stores.
Up Dog Comics. You know, 501st Legion will be here. Awesome. I mean, there's a good list. I mean, there's a bunch more. I was kind of skipping around. Should be posted on the website tomorrow. We're in the middle of getting our program together. Awesome. It's real tricky. It's real tricky when you're a perfectionist. to just rush and throw something up, because I'm like, man, don't throw it up until the list is right. It's got to be spell checked. It's got, you know, all that stuff. Sometimes it's right down to the wire. But anyway, I'm yeah, a couple of those guys are you know, out of state guys who come down for the con, and it's always cool when people have faith in you to consistently come down like that. Like a lot of those guys, we didn't do an NC Comic Con last year, but I did do a 1-day Durham mini con last year, and
I remember that.
That was in November. A lot of those guys set up there and have always set up at NC Comic Con. So it's cool that they're back for the big show. And just to kind of let everyone know, the Durham Mini Con is continuing. Even though NC Comic Con is back now, I'm going to do Durham Mini Con twice a year. So it'll be a cheap 1-day show, you know, to give folks, like I said, shifting to booths only for NC Comic Con kind of prices out some of the small guys, and me keeping Durham Minicon going is a way for me to say, hey man, you know, I haven't forgot about you guys. It's just logistically, that's what I needed to do for NC Comic Con. But Durham Minicon, I'm doing twice a year. That's going to be the first Saturday in March and the first Saturday in August.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So more shows to look forward to.
Yeah,
more. Yes.
But that's what we're excited for. But that's what we do at least twice a month. We're on the road heading to a show. And we
wow.
We have fun with it. It's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of fun. We're excited for this show. If your name did not get mentioned as a vendor, we'll link the list once it goes up. It'll be in the link video. So
Cool.
you guys can see who's here and who's not. So if you didn't hear a vendor that you really like or that you want to see, maybe they're on that list and we just didn't get to them. I'm excited to meet some of these artists we're getting to meet. I know you at Ultimate Comics, Alan, always bring in the talent. I had to pull strings and get Grace to hold me a Superman 78 because I missed the Robert Venditti day, but she had a copy of the collected edition she saved for me signed. I made a trip all the way to Cary from New Bern one day just to pick that up.
Oh, I love Robert Venditti. Yeah, he's going to be out at the show here too. He's yeah, love that guy.
Is he going to be there for this one as well? Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yep.
Since I've got the collected sign, I need to bring my Superman 78 #1 and get him to sign that.
Oh yeah.
Get a signature on that. Pick his brain on what's happening in the sequel he's writing right now.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah, well, it sounds like there's a little bit of some for everybody at this show. I'm excited. I know Josh is excited. We're excited to come in, and we're just going to grab, you know, we love doing interviews. We'll do on the spot interviews. We'll grab somebody and say, hey, tell us, is this your first time at the convention? You know, what do you think? Things like that.
Sure.
And, and we'll have a great walkthrough video. We'll get it out where people can see what they missed if they didn't come, so they can make the next one too.
Yeah, man. Cool.
So we thank you so much for doing this tonight, and we love being able to help promote. I mean, we saw a window where someone was not opening it and kind of helping promote these cons through YouTube and stuff. So we jumped through that window with both feet, trying to help you guys, as you know, because it's just one more way of promoting the shows, and we like doing it, you know.
Oh yeah, I think it's real cool. I think it's real cool that you guys are doing that.
Plus, if you were on the fence about going after you watch this, you may be like, hey, you know, I didn't know that person was going to be there. I better get my tickets and get there.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. And tickets are speaking of tickets, you can still pick those up at the Ultimate Comics right now.
Ultimate Comics. So the cool thing about going into Ultimate Comics to grab your tickets is that there's none of the Eventbrite service fees. You kind of make sure you're not dealing with that. But if the only way you can do it is Eventbrite, that's fine. The service fees aren't that crazy. Eventbrite, and then we'll still sell tickets at the door too. So, you know, you can, if you're not quite sure what your schedule is or whatever, and you're not sure if you're going to make it, you can just buy them when you show up.
All right, for everybody watching, ticket prices for the show. Do we have? Alan doesn't know off the top of his
I
head.
have no idea.
I am on the page, so let me pull that up real quick.
We can throw them up on the screen when we edit the video as well.
There's a VIP pass for $99.99 that gets you weekend admission, NC Comic Con t-shirt, NC Comic Con print, a VIP badge with special NC Comic Con artwork, and a special pack of comic exclusive comics to get signed at the con. The comics are $100 value.
Yep.
The weekend admission is $39.99. There's an AM weekend VIP pass just for Saturday, and that's got a lot of manga stuff in it. It's $99 for that. A weekend pass by itself is $39.99. You get 20% off con merch booth coupons when you buy your tickets online. Saturday only pass is $29.99. And a Sunday only pass is $24.99. And kids, what, 11? Because 12 and older are paid.
Yep.
Kids 11 and under are free.
Yep.
They get in free with an adult.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's super awesome. Because these families, if you're thinking about going and say, man, it's going to cost me so much, bring your kids out. I mean, get them reading comics right now. Because, you know, what a better way to get a kid to start reading than to get them reading comics. It's a great way for kids to learn to read.
And, you know, there's definitely a few exceptions because I haven't heard from all of the artists yet. But something that will be going out in my email and going up on Facebook is we've tried to talk the talent into doing at least one free fan signature. So that means it's not CGC or anything like that. But if a fan comes up and says, hey, man, can you sign my book for me? That they'll do that one for free. And so I know EM Geist has agreed to that. So you can get, if you have an EM Geist book, as long as you're not getting it CGC'd, he'll sign it for free. The Mike Vallely, the skateboarder, he'll sign everything for free. You can bring in your skateboard, the comic, whatever. He's signing it all for free. He's doing photos for free. Arthur Adams, one free fan signature for anyone. So that's something that I thought, man, you know, everything is getting so expensive everywhere. And trying to negotiate that so that, you know, man, when you're paying $39 for a weekend pass, that, you know, you're not going broke while you're in here too, you know, especially if you're just a fan. So
yeah. And most of these guys at cons, I've noticed, Alan, they will do a signature if you personalize it for free.
Yep.
There isn't a charge if you don't personalize it, because they figure you're trying to sell it and make money off of it.
And I get that, man. There are so many guys who are just coming up and flipping books. I mean, we have to get kind of hard with that too in the store. We haven't, but the last couple bigger signings we have had like guys who come in with the stacks, you know, and it's a free signing, but we didn't put like limits on it. And it's just like, man, you know, come on. It's kind of frustrating.
See,
go to Heroes Con for that.
Right.
For me,
right.
I'm looking for signatures. I've got some blank wall space, and I want.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't see very much
on this side of the room, but I want to frame up all my signed comics and make a signed wall. With all
yeah, man.
Signatures.
Yeah, he gets a whole room. What you see behind me is mine. It's just one shelf, but I make use of all the space in that shelf.
Oh yeah,
so,
I took Alan on a tour of the room with the camera before you got on when you were
nice.
difficult.
Nice. Well, it sounds like we covered everything. Sounds like there's going to be tons of stuff to do. It's going to be really exciting. It's 2 days. Hey man, just go ahead and spend that $40 and get that weekend pass, because I mean, there's plenty to do. What else are you going to do on kind of, it might be, I don't know, maybe warm, maybe cool, maybe fall like, but it'll be a great thing to do. Plus, it's just a lot of fun to hang out with people who have those same interests as you do, and you talk comics and cosplay and anime, and go see Batman '89 in the theater, which I haven't seen in the theater since 1989.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, cool, cool. Josh, you want to wrap us up, and then we'll.
All right, guys. So that'll do it for our interview today. This is Alan Gill from Ultimate Comics with us, and we have been talking about NC Comic Con November 4th and 5th. Go ahead and get your tickets, like Chris was saying. Come on out, check out the space. Alan, before I forget, where are we located for the con?
It's the Durham Convention Center,
Durham
which
Convention
is
Center.
downtown Durham. It's attached to the Carolina Theater of Durham.
Awesome. So come on out to downtown Durham, to that convention center, check out the con, hang out. We'll be walking around. Come see us, hang out with us. Maybe we can do some photos. We'll catch Alan, we'll catch the cosplayers. We'll have some fun, guys. So until then, we will see you at the shop.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.